Only a Yeti fur can warm me.
Have you ever seen a strange bird like me?
Of course not.
That's because I don't exist. I'm just a dream.
Penguin's mission. On the coldest cliff of the North Pole, in the kingdom of Aglagla, King Penguin I invites the Dew Fairy to be the godmother of his future baby. But since her arrival, the fairy is really cold. All day long, she heard her teeth chattering. Achoo! Agla agla. Penguin I was starting to worry. The princess won't be let out of her egg. The fairy can baptize her. Achoo! Agla agla. To warm the fairy, the king covered her with a fleece coat, but the egg flower still hung on the fairy's chin. He gave her a sheepskin scarf, but the fairy's nose was still a ruby red. He even lent her a llama fur hat, but the fairy couldn't stand the cold. With frozen fingers, the fairy opened her spellbook. Yeah, I found it, she exclaimed. Only a Yeti fur can warm me. The king then looked for volunteers for a big royal mission. Unfortunately, as soon as he mentioned the words Yeti, poof! Not a single penguin came forward. Only the little penguin, the most imaginative penguin in the land, was left behind. He doesn't know what a Yeti is. The king then explained, but as usual, his spirit chose to go and have an adventure. Loves to go on adventures, little penguin jumps into a hot air balloon and floats away. He flew over Lapland and saw Santa Claus workshop. Outside, the deers admired the aurora borealis. Then, in the sky over Moscow, he heard the sound of an old bear playing the harmonica. In sketch, the bears on Red Square circle in rhythm without dropping their foreheads. Arriving in the Himalayas, little penguin goes to the Yeti cave. In the snow, there were footprints the size of 3 igloos. Despite having had a pleasant journey, little penguin still feels confused. He knew that with a little poetry, he could escape the Yeti's claws. Who's there? Yeti suddenly asked in a sleepy voice.
Have you ever seen a strange bird like me?
Asked little penguin. Of course not, said Yeti, who was in pajamas honestly.
That's because I don't exist. I'm just a dream. Give me a piece of your fur and your dream will continue to a land that knows no cold.
A dream to the tropic? That must be fantastic. Yeti smiled. The huge creature then plucked its longest fur and immediately snuggled back under the covers. Several hours later, little penguin had returned to the kingdom of Aglagla. When he handed the Yeti fur to the fairy, like magic, her nose turned red again. The king was sure that the fairy could stop sneezing. And what do you think? When the little penguin princess comes out of the egg, what does her godmother call her? Aglagla, Aglagla, ugly.